Marshall in the middle.
All right, I put admit. We got two more folks coming in.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this around because I don't think anybody else wants to see my
That's great.
house.
Oh, that's great. Hey, everybody, we're in the room here with Don and Will Marshall. There's Mike Schrum. What's up, buddy? Woo woo. Good to see you, man.
Hey, Will,
Good
how
to
are you?
see you. Oh, buddy, I'm doing great. I'm doing
Man,
great.
good.
So Dawn is just having her first night in her new house. So kind of, yeah. So she's showing me around. And what's happening, Mr. Davis? What's up, big dog? How you doing? Are you there with us?
There I am.
Hey, buddy. So those of you that don't know Joe, he is a heart transplant survivor. He just got a new heart a few months ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
And he has become a blessed brother, and we did a interview a while back. And so, hey, welcome to the first ever Marshall in the Middle video chat kind of hangout. People have been saying we should do something like this, and I was like, okay, cool, we can do it. Let's do it. So thanks for like willing to come on and hang out with me for a minute. Tell somebody besides me talk for a little bit. Yeah, Dawn's taking her turn. She's showing me around. So hey, Mike, tell me what's happening in your world, man, up in Huntsville, buddy.
And nothing new up here, boss. Just getting the kids settled down after school and softball practice. So nothing big happening here.
Isn't it fun watching your children do the practice and compete and learn what it is to be a success? You know.
It is.
Yeah. Do you do any coaching with that stuff, or
I haven't here, not yet. I don't have the afternoon time between being a volunteer firefighter and work. I don't have enough time to get up there and coach. But she's doing great. They're all doing great on their own. So.
Good.
Fantastic.
Good. Joe, tell me some good news, man. Tell me what's happening in your world, buddy.
Good evening, everybody. Will, making progress. First of all, I started cardio rehab right after we had the interview, maybe a month later. I'm done with that. I passed it, got my certificate, and I'm very happy to say that when I report to the doctor Monday on the 6th at VCU, I could tell him that, hey, I'm making progress. I'm on my way.
I'm telling you, Joe, I can't imagine having a new heart, right? Don, can you imagine, like, one day it's like you go under and next day you got a new heart. I don't know, man. Dude, I love you and I'm so proud of what you're doing, man. And thanks for sharing it with us. That's cool, dude. That's really cool, right?
Yes, it is. It's an honor and privilege, like I always, just to be around veterans. Also, I signed up to get me a service dog. It's going to take a couple years. But
wow.
I got to do it, y'all. I got to do it. I mean, times are, what's the old saying? Desperate times calls for desperate measures. With the situation we're in, everybody knows what's going on with COVID and everything. So I'm more isolated. So with my condition, I can't be around a lot of people, and I got to really have a way to vent. And I think me and my future dog, it's gonna be my best buddy.
Amen. That's great. That's great. Good for you.
So Joe, I'll tell you, I have a service dog. She is my psychiatric service dog because I suffer from PTSD and anxiety. I wasn't willing to wait on a list, so I adopted a 9-week-old puppy. And basically from her living with me over the last almost 4 years, she has learned my personality, and she has learned my panic attacks and my anxiety attacks. And what I was told by her trainer, because I did have her obedience trained, is she's learned my body chemistry.
Wow.
Because dogs have that innate ability, no matter what, they're hunters. And their noses are, 10 million more times or more sensitive than ours. So she can sense a change in my body chemistry. The first couple of panic attacks, she didn't catch up on. Now she actually, I swear she knows before I do that I'm going to have them, because she'll whine at me to sit down. And then as soon as I sit down, she climbs in my lap and like does the head thing. Like, you need to pet me, mom, you need to pet me. And it's just,
Great.
she is such a joy. She really is. I haven't taught her to fetch my rescue medication yet, because quite honestly, she doesn't really do fetch. She likes to do tug, and she beats the crap out of lamb chop. But
Good to know.
yeah, and I'll show you. I mean, she really is a joy. This is my baby girl. And I'm a pretty petite person. I'm 5'1", about 140 pounds. So I couldn't imagine having, a big golden retriever or a lab help me with my anxiety or my panic attacks, because they usually train them to lay on your chest.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, no offense, Will, but you've done that to me before, and I'm just like, oh my God, get off me. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, oh come on, that was funny. Combat abs. I'm just saying. But it's a lot easier with a 10-pound dog than say a 150-pound dog.
Understood. Yeah, my wife wants me to get a small dog, but that's something I'm gonna take into consideration as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you heard of TADS, TAD. Yeah, I'm going through them.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be able to live the life I have even as a retiree now without Mina. I really wouldn't, because I do live by myself. I'm about an hour away from any support system that I have. And yeah,
Thank
I
you.
can function every day.
I'm looking forward to that
Good.
experience. I'm at that point now where it's needed, truly. Man's best friend.
Hey,
Absolutely.
there's something about being able to, reach down and have a loving, caring animal there that cares about you, that wants to please you, to calm you down and stuff. I think that's really an amazing thing. You notice they don't have service cats though, right? The cats. I'm telling you, you got to be scared of cats, dude. Cats are evil, I think.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Toto was a good dog. Cat until he passed away.
Amen. 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 Mike, tell us about the last fire you responded to as a volunteer fire department guy. Did y'all have anything interesting lately?
I don't think we've had one lately. Knock on wood, right?
Yeah, right.
We had a string of them for a while there. We were about one a week, but I mean, it wasn't too bad. Everyone's mind their P's and Q's finally.
Our local fire department just did a practice with their Jaws of Life out in their parking lot, and they ripped open this old Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. It was fun to watch the pictures of them, and
those are the good cars to cut up, because you try and cut up a car from like today, it just peels like a tin can. You can't, just peels right away. So those are the good ones to cut up.
The old what do you call them? Detroit irons.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody tell me a good Army story. Tell me about, like, I'm trying to come up with this series I want to call Spent Brass and Hand Grenade Pins. Like, there I was. I had nothing around me but spent brass and hand grenade pins. What, and y'all got a story like that?
Woo.
Man. So I was up in an airplane one time, and we were grading students. I was a jump master instructor, and my buddy wasn't grading at the time, and we were coming around, and he like kind of pushed me out of the door, and he leaned out of the aircraft, right? And I didn't let him just do what he was going to do. He's hanging out, right? And so while he was hanging out the aircraft, I'm like, what in the world is he doing? So I go out like right behind him, you know, like I'm kind of leaning over his shoulder as he vomits and he's throwing up, and the all comes right back in my face, right? There I was.
Oh, wow.
Spent brass and hand grenade pins. Yeah. Warren Close is the guy. He's my Facebook friend, and we're gonna do a Heroes I Know together soon. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day. I also had a time when we had a jumpmaster student fall out of the airplane, but he wouldn't let go. He wouldn't let go. He was still hanging on, right? And we're like, when he fell out, we were like, let go. Your parachute will open. Just let go. And he wouldn't. He was just, turtled right there. And we literally, there was two of us. We literally lifted him back in the aircraft and, strapped him down and went on grading students because we had to. And we got back to the school and we looked up on the grade sheet on how we were going to grade him. We didn't have a section for fell out of the aircraft. And he didn't exit on the red light. It was green when he fell out. Kind of. It was a weird situation. So, yeah.
What did you classify that as?
Well, we made a new rule and said if you fall out, then you're kicked out. You can't be a jump master. You get kicked out of the school.
Well, a lot of that will. Yeah, you go ahead, Michael.
Now, was it a jump master or a student that fell out?
No, it was so I was teaching jump master school. So it was a jump master school student, a guy learning how to be a jump master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I'll never forget it. He's hanging out, and all of a sudden one of his hands starts to slip, and he just turtles around and grabs the trail edge with both hands, but he wasn't letting go. He just wasn't letting go.
That was still one of the schools I ever went to.
Yeah, jump school is look, you learn some serious fears. You get over things that if you're willing to jump out of an airplane, you're willing to fight for your country. I'll guarantee you that. You won't run. Because I've been around some soldiers that I honestly think that if it really hit the fan, that in some situations, in some of the units I was in, I would wonder if they would have run the other way. Right.
Yep.
Now, but look, after you do some training together, and after like Shrum, me and you, we were in Korea in the same unit together, right? We knew the capabilities of the guys and gals next to us, right?
Yep.
And let me tell you, there was guys and gals in our unit in Korea that would never have gotten live bullets if it had been time to go do certain things, right? Hey,
yes.
And I had talks with certain of those people, right? There were some of those people that knew, look, when we go to the range, I'll hand you bullets, and you're going to insert it in that weapon, and you're going to shoot them targets. And I got this big red paddle right here. I'm going to beat you crap out of you if you do anything else with that weapon, right? Y'all remember those people?
Yeah.
Dawn, you remember those people?
Oh, I do.
Yes.
Yeah. But it doesn't, look, that makes you a good leader. That makes you a loving leader, right? That makes you that you employ your unit in accordance with its capabilities. Well, that's one of the principles of training, right? Y'all remember those?
Principles of training. Was it 8 of them? Nah, 11.
I don't remember the number, but at one point I had them all memorized. I was one of those guys that memorized all that stuff,
Yeah, 11 leadership principles and 9 technical and tactical competencies. You remember the old yellow NCO book?
Oh yeah.
I think I got mine somewhere.
Oh yeah.
See, I think I got mine right here. Give me one sec.
Oh, isn't it cool to be able to pull out some of the old manuals and reminisce about some of the crazy things? Shrum, what do you remember from? Were you part of RSOP?
No, it was radar.
Oh, that's right.
was
You were always in the van
was-
and stuff.
Yeah, I was in fire control from the start. We got back from Korea and we got to
Hey,
Hood. And
look at that.
Woo-hoo,
Sorry.
you were the man. You win the award tonight for the
There you
coolest guy right there. That's it.
That-
That's it, Joe.
Old school.
That's old school right there.
So, but yeah, I was actually cleaning out boxes the other day, and I ran across my board picture from when I won Soldier of the Month board there in Korea. All bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, 17 years, 18 years old.
Oh, to be that young again.
Yeah. Oh, the decisions I would make differently.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey,
some of the decisions that we made at that age were quite fun to remember, though.
Yes, 100%. Hey, Will, I got to jump off here and get my kids ready for to bed and stuff like that. So I'll jump on if you guys are still on. Okay.
Hey, Mike, thanks for dropping by, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
it, buddy.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
So,
Good to meet you.
Likewise.
all right, bye-bye.
See ya.
So, go ahead, Joe.
Now I was gonna, what do you call these moments again?
So, so some like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, because I do have a kind of funny memory that sticks out that I cherish on the expense of my intelligence.
Oh, I love it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so there I was, a drill sergeant. I got any drill sergeants here?
Nope.
All right, well, let's see here. Try to recreate this scenario.
Oh no, I'm gonna have anxiety just looking at you.
This is how I was when I was on the trail.
You look good, dude. That looks sharp, man.
I made my E7. This I came in as an E6. I left as a senior drill sergeant, but that's how I was.
I love it.
And like I said, there I was, and I put it on. Nowadays, all right. I don't even look like it, man.
At ease.
Yes,
Okay.
Joe.
Oh my God, you bring fear into me right now, dude. Oh my
I know,
God.
right? I'm like having
I'll
anxiety.
take it off. I'll put it
No,
back
no,
on.
no. Keep it on. Keep it on. I want to see it. Keep it on. Keep
All right,
it on. Yes,
so
sir.
there I was, getting ready for PT. We had duty platoon that week, which is to get everything, run the training for everybody, you know, and we had to sit up for PT in the morning. So I was in charge of duty platoon setting up PT, and for some reason, we was already running kind of late on training. So I get everything in the van, the duty van, okay? Had the privates, all of us loaded up the van and tried to take a shortcut, right? Because I was running late. And y'all know what shortcuts to do, right? There's always a price to pay for not meeting the standard. So I loaded up the van and I said, hey, privates, it was the rifle bayonet pit, right? I was at Fort Benning, and where the rifle bayonet pit is, we had to cross there in order to, PT was on the other side, right, of the pit. So I decided to, take the van through the pit to make up for time.
Oh God.
Wow, was that a bright decision, drill sergeant? So we end up burying the van. The van got stuck. Training was late, so we had to get the whole company, you know, because we had buried down. I think I was driving that son gun. And it was rubber. It was the old rubber, you know, cut up tires and everything in the pit. They was flying all over the place. My first arm was freaking out. He was 82nd, and he was a Ranger too. And he gave me those eyes. He was I had to go see him, and he gave me the worst chewing, but it was out of love.
Right.
But they clowned me for that for a while. You know, back in during them times, you know, if you messed up, you would have to carry a rock or, you know, something to make you realize your mistake, right?
Right.
Builds character. That's what they say, right?
Right.
So they reminded me of that when it was time for me to get off the trail. Um, you know, and for pickup, we would always get together before picking up a cycle of Joe's from the reception battalion.
Right.
And we would meet up at IHOP, and they would laugh over that and all that stuff. And they would always remind me about that incident. But when I was getting ready to get off the trail in January 2008, to my surprise, with my drill sergeant hat stand that they gave me, because you get a stand for this, they gave me the Charlie Chicken Award. I don't know if y'all can see that.
I love it.
Okay, explain the Charlie Chicken.
This is the old Charlie Chicken. He kind of beat up a little bit.
I love it.
The Charlie Chicken Award, that's for something, just like you were saying, something out the ordinary, something stupid,
Less than stellar.
funny, outrageous that you do that I guess helps build character or morale, bad or good. You're gonna learn something from it. So
Yeah.
you didn't want to get the Charlie Chicken. It's pretty much a laughing award, you know. But I still think about that incident because, like I said, they gave me the chicken. I am an honorary. That's what it says right there. I'll read it for you. Drill Sergeant Joe S. Davis, honorary Charlie Chicken Award, Charlie Company 247 Infantry, Charlie Rock.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
In the air defense community, we have a thing called a oozle finch. And I got an oozle finch award, kind of like what you're talking about, Joe. Dawn, tell me about that hat you got there. First off.
Yes.
I figured, no, Joe, leave yours on. Leave yours on. We'll make Will feel uncomfortable because he doesn't have a cool hat unless he pulls out his Jumpmaster hat.
Oh yeah, I don't have. No, I'd have to go somewhere and get it. Look at that, 50 cal, yes sir.
One shot, one kill, baby.
Oh
hell
my.
yeah! So my hat, and it still has 7 rank on it because I didn't wear it after my last unit that I was in with this. I was in a cav unit, but hell yeah! But it wasn't like 214 or what do you call it, first cav or anything like that. It was Task Force Odin, and Task Force Odin was air cav because we were the drums. So being MI, they were like, oh, you don't get to wear a Stetson, you don't get to do this, you don't get to do that because MI doesn't know what it means to be recon. So Will attest to this. Knowing me, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it either 1 to show you that you're wrong, or 2 just to piss you off. Because that's just my personality. So I went back and created this whole big presentation how military intelligence is CAV. CAV is military intelligence because CAV soldiers back in the days, especially Buffalo soldiers out in Fort Huachuca, would ride out days ahead of the infantry units and spy on enemy forces, whatever, and then ride back and tell the incoming forces what the enemy had, where they were at, how many soldiers, what equipment, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I hate to tell you this, guys, that's military intelligence.
Amen.
And they're like, no, that's recon. And I was like, one of my titles is ISR. ISR is intelligence, reconnaissance, and surveillance. So, so I was the only MI soldier that was allowed to go on a spur ride in Iraq. I got my spurs, which my ex took. I lost those in the divorce. But it's all right. I got his balls. That's all right. But so I got my Stetson and I wear this very proudly because if you don't understand what MI is, or you don't understand what CAV is, you need to understand what MI is. And I used to tell my soldiers this, you have to understand where we started. And where we started was the CAV. And our whole job is supporting ground forces. I would rather you tell somebody absolutely freaking nothing than give them the wrong intel. You tell them, oh yeah, they got small arm weapons and they got about 5 guys. When really you got a 50 cal, you got a 240 and all this other stuff, and they've got, 100 guys. Hi, Jackson. So,
Awesome.
because getting out the wrong intel is worse than getting out nothing, because then nobody knows what to expect and you're going to get somebody killed.
Amen. That is so true. Yes. I wish I could show you, because I served in the first CAF. That was my last duty assignment, and believe it or not, it was one of the best because I learned so much in 2 years, under 2 years. I got my, the first 30 days, it was like it was, y'all remember the School of Soldiers back in the day?
Oh yeah, that's way back now.
Right. Like when you get to your unit, I was stationed at Fort Ord, right, in the early 90s. And before you would make it to your unit, you had to what? Do the School of Soldiers. You had to, or if you jacked up, summarize Article 15, or they wanted the platoon sergeant, squad leader, somebody wanted to send you to get some discipline or something. They sent you to the School of Soldiers. So what happened was when I was at Fort Hood, not to lose train of sight here, the first 30 days, I was out in the field. I got my gear 2 weeks. Within the first 30 days, I did a 30-day FTX. And I kept rolling with the CAV. And next thing you know, I was on my way to do a spur ride. I had heard about it, but before I did that, I did a battle foot march. Because in the CAV, it was always something out the ordinary, for PT, hey, Sergeant Major, hey, we're gonna do a battle foot march and see who got the fastest time, and then you get ceremony or something. They might give you a sword, they might give you some, if you top notch, silver spur or something, but you got to earn the silver spur on the spur ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to tell you a little bit of my spur ride. I'm spur ride and gold spurs because I went to Afghanistan. So, but I don't have my spurs or my Stetson yet. I got to go back down to Fort Hood because I was running out of time when I got back. I didn't make the 8 list, so I just concentrated on getting out, doing all that stuff. But I got to go back and get my silver. I might have to order some in my Stetson. But that spur ride, y'all, that was 24 hours of hell. Well, they wake you up at 4 in the morning. I woke up at 4 in the morning. By 5, we ate chow, and they picked us up on the Chinook. And we went to a rendezvous point. And we road marched 7 Ks to some objective, right? I was out at Fort Hood, the Belton Lake, right? We got to Belton Lake. They had some rafts. We had the big feet on the raft, and we had teams. We had to paddle across Belton Lake, which is a man-made lake. You already know it's got trees and it's got all kind of crap out there in Belton Lake. On the other side, we had to eat chow. They think they gave us 45 minutes to an hour. Then we had the foot march onto a movement to contact. Let's see, react to contact, movement to contact, react to contact, and break contact. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
so
you get wore out after running around like that for a few minutes.
Oh yeah, and that's just the beginning. You got to do that, and then you have to seize the objective, whatever that is. Then you got to do a road march to the I think the convoy lanes. We had MRAPs at the time. We was going to Afghanistan. You passing cows and all of that stuff, and hoping that they don't come at you out there in the back 40 back there for Hood.
Man, those cows are not nice at 5 o'clock in the morning either.
Nah, they sure ain't. And then you would do that. You do the convoy, block the ambush and all that with the MRAPs, and then they put you in a 5-ton and take you to the field site, and then you have to do a defensive live fire exercise. Like 7 when it get dusk, right? Because that's when the attack starts. That's the element of surprise is darkness. That's just the way it is.
Hell yeah.
And everything in the arms room, they bring everything out to your fighting positions, and you light up. They give you scenarios. You run like different situations. What do you call them things? Situational
STXs.
Yeah, STXs. They give you those. And major S3 and all them, you might have to do evaluated casualty, call in the 9-line, something like that. And then it's all night. They would pop up flares and pop. I mean, you sleep where you fired at, and it go all the way until like dusk. I mean, when the sun come up,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the battle is over, and then you got to road march to the parade site to get your Stetson, your spurs, and they do the ceremony. Something I'll never forget.
The traditions of those kinds of things in the Army are really, really cool to look back on, right? Those nights of sleepless nights. It's half fake, but still, it's like we all know pro wrestling's fake, but you don't want to get slammed on the mat, right?
That's probably the best analogy I've ever heard, Will.
Yeah. But yeah, so those spur rides and those other things really do set the stage, though, for that gold spur ride, right? That doing it for real and
yes,
and knowing what it takes. Because if that's the first time you've ever experienced it when it's real bullets, having practiced it ahead of time and built those cohesions and bonds with your buddies through those spur rides ahead of time really helps the team in the long run, right?
Yes, it does, and it comes together. Looking back in hindsight, you can see all of this that you're out. There's a lot of things I just didn't understand. Maybe it's because I'm older now, and I can reflect. But
Hey,
at the
that's
time,
the truth, yeah.
At the time, you just you
It's
just get it done.
Yeah, it's just another sucky day, right? Another footstep in front of the other one. Another road march, another jump, another tactical convoy, another, movement to daylight,
Yes, absolutely.
Joe, I'll tell you, my spur ride was a little different. Because like you, they woke us up at 4 a.m. And we were on West Fort Hood, over by the airport, because of course we were air recon.
Yeah.
And we had to road march out to one of the tank trails, which in hindsight wasn't really that far, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, everything is far.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at. You're over there by the landfill.
Exactly. And we went to, and I'm pretty sure it may have been close to the landfill because I smelled nothing but poop. But we road march out and took a PT test. Once we got done road marching, and I want to say, they made us do a 12, because you got to do, 12 miles in under 4 hours. Yeah, that's division standard. So we road marched, and then once we got there, we thought we were, done. And they're like, all right, line up for a PT test. And we're like, what? what are you talking about? We just did a road march. We're not doing PT tests. And they're like, yeah, you are. And then, so everybody did their PT test, and then we road marched again. And then this time we went out to the range and we met the unit weaponeer or okay, my brain's, yeah.
Arms room guy?
What's that?
The arms room guy?
Yeah. Who had a LMTV 5-ton, full of weapons for everybody that was out there. You didn't get your weapon. You had to zero whatever weapon you got, and then you had to qualify with it.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Battle site.
Yeah, absolutely, battle site. And it was just, and then we road marched again. I swear to God, they marched us from one side of Fort Hood to the other. And the last place we stopped was at Sticks Lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And we went through the full gambit of Sticks Lanes, from evaluating a casualty, reacting to fire, calling in a 9-line, all that kind of crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was the last place we stopped. But then we had to do, like you were saying, which was movement to contact, ambushing, working as a team.
Yep.
And the whole thing and I'm sure you know this, the whole time you're moving, when you're road marching, slowest person is X amount of feet behind the last person. Get them up to the rear, wagon wheel, because you are only as strong as your slowest person.
Right, wagon wheel.
Yep. So even though we were road marching, we were constantly wagon wheeling around to try to keep everybody together, because it is all about that teamwork, and it is all about being able to trust and rely on each other. And as an NCO, I thought I knew it, but it wasn't until I went through that spur ride, like you were saying, Joe, that I really grasped that concept. And then when we went through part of the 6 lanes, it was MOS specific, and being imagery, excuse me, I only have one piece of it, but I had to rely on other people to give me the rest of it so that we could, advise what really needed to happen. And everybody else was just as tired as I was. And it was really, I think that's something that soldiers are missing nowadays. Having retired almost a year ago now, watching these young NCOs come up through the ranks, I'm like, you guys don't get it. That you can't do this job by yourself. No. And if you think you can, you're going to get somebody killed.
That's what the Army is. The Army is about, what's that old saying, like General Patton? What's that quote, Will, that General Patton say, we sleep, eat, and fight as a team.
Hey, I don't know the quote, but yeah, we definitely do. We're if we're only as good as our weakest link, like Dawn was saying there, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Kirk Kirkendall has jumped on, man. So welcome, Kirk.
How's it going?
Hey, great, man. We're in here with Dawn and Joe and me, and we're just kind of BSing right now, man. It's your turn. So we've all told stories, and now it's your turn to tell a story.
Tell a story. Oh boy.
Oh, so we're calling this little series Spent Brass and Hand Grenade Pins. So there I was, nothing around me but spent brass and hand grenade pins. Joe told a story about his spur ride. Don did the same thing. I told a couple stories about jumping out of airplanes. So if something comes to mind, just pop up with it, man. But we're just sitting here having a good time here at Marshall in the Middle, Heroes I Know Zoom Hangout #1, the first ever, and we're going to try to do this on Wednesday nights. If that is something that's valuable, we might hop on here and just spend a little bit of time together.
Gotcha.
Now all this comes on a super secure connection.
The only story I got is, I guess back in Korea, my last tour over there, in charge of the battery mascot Sandy, a nice little dog that some people didn't like, but I finally got her to act like a soldier and made sure she wouldn't make any more messes under nobody's doors and all that. And then the first sergeant, everybody else, like, Sergeant Kirkendall, we used to hate that damn dog. Now we like this dog. I was like, well, that's just because she needs some discipline. But she used to go everywhere I used to go. I used to take her down range and put her up on the bar. And when I'd have a few drinks back when I was, acting a fool down range, and then I would on the battery run, she would come with us. And she was kind of like a first sergeant back there. People falling out, she would go back there and bark at them and make sure that they, hey, get back in line, stay up with the formation.
Oh wow!
I remember one time I think I was over there at Camp Hovey, and I was bumping up with one of my old soldiers that I served with at Fort Riley, and I was getting bombed out of my skull, and people looking at me crazy, and I'm like, what's y'all's problem? Y'all never seen a drunk CNI dog before? So that dog made sure I got home all the time, and she made sure I got home, and I wasn't messing around. She'd make sure I ran instead of walking.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Hey, Kirk, let me see your face, man. Turn the video on real quick. Let everybody see that big old beard you got, man.
See, I don't even know how do I do that. Let's see here.
If you touch the screen, you can you'll see it down at the bottom left, just a camera icon.
Does it say share content?
Nah, It should just be a video down at the bottom left, like a little camera. There you go. Look, there he is. There he is.
Yeah, I've never really been a while since I grew a beard anyway. So I was like, man, what the heck? Let's change it. And when I was in my 40s, I was putting the old Just for Men in there. I didn't like it. Now I actually like it. It looks better with it being nice and brown instead of that gray in there and whatnot. So
good, man. Well, cool. So you're a big NASCAR fan. You're going to all the NASCAR races and stuff, right?
You got it. Yeah, I went to 3 this year. I went to the first time Texas had the All-Star race at there instead of at Charlotte all the time. And then first time they were at Circuit of the Americas, which we helped pave that track. So it was kind of nice to see them racing around what we did.
Oh, that's cool. Right. So tell everybody what you do. You work in that industry with asphalt and stuff, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm an asphalt quality control technician. So I basically establish rolling patterns, making sure that the paving crew rolls it out the way it's supposed to be. That way, when I go to test the mix, I mean, I have to mark out cores where the labs will cut a core to make sure that it falls within the specifications. If you can tell it's rolled out when you see all the rock is all good and tight. You don't see any air voids, any little bit of imperfection in there, then you know it's good. If you see it where if it's crushed and it's broken, then you over compacted it.
Oh wow.
So road construction, man, has come a long way, man. Y'all are making good stuff now, dude. The stuff that's been put down is really good.
Oh, thanks. I mean, and every state's got a different spec. I mean, obviously, where I'm from originally, Michigan, I think the spec could be totally different because it's going to expand, it's going to contract. So.
Yeah, Don's from Michigan up there.
Can we talk about University of Michigan after 10 flipping years?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, come on.
That's
I'm
right.
a Buckeye
That's
fan.
right.
Hell yeah.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
a Buckeye fan.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Bama fan.
Yep.
It took us 10 years, but we did it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, I got Big Ten. I moved down here to the South. I do have an SEC team.
Right.
Will introduced me to War Damn Eagle. I root for Auburn all the time. I was really disappointed that they got beat by South Carolina.
There you
Hell
go.
yeah.
And if you ain't Cab, you ain't shit.
Y'all gotta see my cab, man.
Hell yeah.
I'm the only non-Cav guy here. Oh no.
Hold up. I gotta get my cab flag.
Has got all that lineage, and all that history and stuff.
Oh no, watch out. I'm getting ganged up on, people.
You know what? Will doesn't know anything about the Fiddler's Green. I think maybe we need to school him on that.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. We got Cav in the house tonight. We're gonna have to. We gotta come back next week. We gotta get a little bit of airborne buddies in the house next week. I guess. I don't know.
You need to do some recruiting, Will.
You got it. I remember the first time I met some airborne people. It was personnel. I was still a snot-nosed private, and it was my first time going to National Training Center, I actually volunteered to go out there because I worked in the 3 shop, and I was driving around one of the assistant S3 captains, and I met some guys down there, and they're sitting there, and, you know, there was waiting to get in the shot, and they're all just sitting there singing airborne, airborne, airborne. I'm like, what's these guys' issue? And then I found out what it was like when I went to Korea, my first tour, and met a lot of old 82nd guys over there, and 26188. So now I really found out about all the airborne stuff.
Oh yeah. So I got over there. Look at that. He's got the patch out. Joe's
This is
breaking out
homemade.
the patch.
This is a homemade patch that one of my mechanics made.
Oh, cool.
S3 NCOIC in Afghanistan.
Cool.
Yeah.
He took a patch and he welded it, he cut it out and made it for me. Put my name and all that. Y'all can see it.
Oh, that's cool.
Then he put my name right here. Right down here. Homemade coin.
I love it, man.
And my dad served in the Cav in World War II, and then my honorary dad served with them in Vietnam, and then I got a chance to serve with him in here in what was it, 04 and 05. So
yes.
Is that a guide on, First Sergeant?
It is.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I guess I know it's just really retired First Sergeant. That's so cool. I mean, that's just so cool, right? Right. Tell me about your unit when you were a First Sergeant.
So my unit when I was a first sergeant, we really can't talk about because it is one of those units that nobody talks about.
Oh, okay.
So my last real unit was 25th ID. I was a 2nd Brigade S2. I was a Brigade S2 NCO. And I got picked up by JSOC. And I was already a Master Sergeant. And I became the J2 Sergeant Major of a task force, which I made Master Sergeant in 2018. And then, right after my dad died, like 6 months later, I PCS to try to get back to the East Coast to be close to mom. So I would have some reactionary time to her. And so I thought I was taking, a Master Sergeant position, like an Ace NCOIC or something like that. And then they made me a J2 Sergeant Major for a deployable task force. And I was like, okay. So I actually did the Sergeant Major thing before I became a First Sergeant. I got picked up as a First Sergeant after doing 5 interviews. 5. Because apparently I'm abrasive.
Who knew?
For the MI world, apparently I'm abrasive. But I got picked up on my 5th one, and it was what they call ComTech, and that's Communication Technologies Research and Activity. And that's up in Maryland. And these are the guys that, they speak like 3 languages, and they travel all the time, and, they do hand-to-hand combat and close quarters combat, all this other stuff. But outside looking in, they look like Mr. Bean. So that was my unit as a First Sergeant. But every time I was on staff somewhere, how I got the guide on, because I know that's what I'm not medicated today. Every time I was on staff somewhere, they gave me a guide on. So that's how I got the 21st Air Cav guide on. And that was because I was the ARST, or the Aerial Reconnaissance, ARST, support team NCOIC.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
I know, a little different from the Scared of My Own Shadow E5 that you first met when I was in Korea.
Oh, you were never scared of your own shadow. I don't even want to hear that. I don't even want to hear that. You are a doggone rock star. You are a rock star. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. So I did remember a funny story. And I'm not really sure if it goes with the expended brass and hand grenade pins, but I would call this one the thing soldiers say. So I was in Hawaii, sitting in my office at 2nd Brigade. sitting in brigade headquarters in the S2 shop, and my co-ops NCOIC, Sergeant First Class infantry guy comes in, and all the little privates and specialists that work for him and work for us in the shop come in. Everybody's standing outside my office, and he's like, "Hey, Master Sergeant, I'm going to take the kids out to the range, you know, to get them qualified." And I was like, "Cool. Have fun storming the castle," because, yeah, and Will tell you I'm a huge Princess Bride fan, and I just basically quote any movie there is. But I said, "Cool, have fun storming the castle." And this PFC, cute as a button, absolutely adorable, kind of reminded me as a PFC, looks at me straight face, I'm not even kidding you, looks at me and goes, "Are we really going to storm a castle, Master?" I mean, like, big doe eyes, straight face, looks at me and goes, "We really going to storm a castle?" And I'll never forget it, because I looked at the Sergeant First Class and I was like, "Get her out of here. Just get her out of here. I'm going to kill her." So
Wow.
there's the, maybe that's another one, the things soldiers say.
Amen. I like that. Things soldiers say.
I actually had to do that before, storm a castle.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
That's awesome. I'm going to hear this.
Oh, wow, man. I don't know if we have enough time, Will.
Okay.
Got like
okay.
about
We'll work
5
it out.
minutes. But hey, I will tell you, because I'm a French commando too. I went to commando school. I don't know if, you know, because they had cut that out like in the early 2000s. But I had went to French commando school, and we did it down in on the Rhine River, in between France and Germany, a town called Breisach. Y'all ever heard of that? So they took us, it was 3 weeks of hell, Will. It's the toughest training I've done. I've done drill sergeant, I've done airborne, I've been to combat, but those 3 weeks broke me off, man. And we did escape and evade. It's sort of like Sears, because it's the first phase of becoming a French Foreign Legionnaire. And I tell you, you know, that castle and moat, because we had to do escape and evade, you know, with no light. You know, we had to go through a dungeon, through a tunnel, and we, you know, couldn't use no lights or nothing like that. And then we had to escape out the moat in the castle onto a 5-ton, and then they had to take us to a rendezvous point where we had to road march to the finish line to get our badge.
That's cool, man. That is so cool.
Yes.
The one thing I will say about the Army, I know this sounds really cliche. I'm sorry. The shit that we do for fun when we're in the Army, and it's like nobody else in the world would do that, but you got a soldier that's like, "Yeah, that sounds cool. Let me do that."
That reminds me of a story where I was in Korea, right? So the two of my soldiers would sit in like a straddle position where their legs were outstretched and their feet were touching each other's feet right here, right? So they were, I mean, they were arm length away from each other, and they had these baseballs and they were throwing them at each other's crotch as hard as they could in the tent. I come walking in and I'm like, what are y'all doing? They're like, "Watch, First Sergeant, watch, here, watch." And I watch them throw each one time. And then I tell them that they can't do it no more. They cannot do that no more. But they were throwing these baseball at each other's crotch as hard as they could. Another thing that happened when I was a first sergeant is I had soldiers that would have contests to see how much of that ultra high temperature chocolate milk stuff they could drink at one sitting. Like if you could get over 10, milks down and whatever, they would drink as much milk as they could, and then one of them ends up winning, and of course then he ends up throwing up, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Soldiers
What was that?
crazy.
What was that one, Will, or anyone? Can y'all tell me what they put the water in the MRE, and then they they will make it go boom. I
Oh
forgot
yeah,
what you call
MRE
that.
bombs. MRE
Yeah,
bombs.
yeah, MRE bombs.
Oh yeah, we did that. That was it. That was shoot. That's nothing. MRE bomb.
It would scare the crap out you when you're trying to get some rest.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so apparently I'm the only one because I don't know what an MRE bomb is.
Oh, okay. So you take a so the best way to do it is probably take a 2-liter Coke bottle or something, and then you take the MRE heater and you put the water in it, and then you put it in the 2-liter bottle and cap it up. And the pressure from that heater and the air just makes the
Yeah, buddy.
2-liter explode. You can also do just a regular water bottle too.
How? Okay, now wait a minute. I always thought that if you bent the heater, it wouldn't work anymore because that's what they used to tell us. And maybe that's an MI thing because again, we're Mr. Bean,
Yeah.
so they're trying to keep us safe because we are the ones that will try to read a book walking down the sidewalk.
Oh, that's for sure. All I know is you put the water in the heater.
Yeah, you
And
right.
then you just stuff it in the water bottle.
Shake it
I don't
up.
know about shake it up. I don't know about bending or anything, but.
But how do you get it in the 2-liter? Is
Oh,
what
you
I'm saying.
just roll it up. You just roll it up.
Okay, because that's what they told us. If you bend that thing in any way, shape, or form, it's not going to work.
Yeah, you fell for that MI trick, man.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys do to us? Is you tell us stupid shit because we take everything
You're
so
still
seriously?
chasing around the damn grid squares, aren't you? You're still chasing around the grid squares and the exhaust samples and the trash bags.
Man. Oh man, when you get to your new unit, boy, don't you love that?
I'll never forget when I was in the 82nd. One of the squad leaders from another platoon got the brand new platoon leader to get an exhaust sample of his Humvee and apply it in a big old trash bag, right? And so here's this. It's maintenance day, and right out of the bat, right, everybody goes to their vehicle, and all the head shed, they all stand around and talk, right? All the captains and all the staff, because they got nothing to do, really. They're just kind of there.
Man maintenance.
Yeah. And so here comes this lieutenant walking up to the. They told him to take him to the command sergeant major that he was collecting them. So here comes this brand new lieutenant walking up to the CSM with his trash bag filled with air sample. Sergeant major grabs it, pops it. Pow! Says, go get your platoon sergeant. Bring him to me right now. Right? And so lieutenant runs away. Here comes the platoon sergeant. Sergeant major just chews this platoon sergeant. And it wasn't a real platoon sergeant. It was a squad leader, right? That the platoon sergeant knew better. But you know how squad leaders, them staff sergeants, they like to do some crazy stuff sometimes. And oh my God, he got his butt chewed. Oh my God, he got his butt chewed. I'll never forget that.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my, I miss that stuff.
I tell you what, as we all look back on our lives and the units and the people and the teams that we were a part of, look, my heart's lifted just by talking to you guys for this hour. I've had a blast. Hearing your stories and y'all ganging up on me with your calf patches and stuff. I don't even know about that. I might have some PTSD something. Have a
go drink a beer, Will.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Or take your medicine, one or the two.
There you go. What you
I gotta take this stuff for life. This is my anti-rejection medicine for my heart.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, because if you don't take this, you're a goner, as they say.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was up to 28 pills and liquids and 4 liquids when I got out the hospital. I had lost about 70 pounds in 3 months.
Dang.
But I'm still here, y'all. I got a big old heart. In case next time, I got a big glass heart. And those were the people I talked to after my new heart, my new life. And it's an interview out there that Will did on me a couple months. I talk a lot more about that. But I'm truly blessed to be around veterans. I love veterans. As long as you got a good, spirit about you. Because as you know, there's good and bad on every side of a coin. And I don't know if y'all remember Command Sergeant Major Jimmy Spencer. He had some good tales about the coin.
Yep.
And so, you know, he was always saying no matter what you do, there's always going to be a good side and bad side to
Every day's a blessing.
Yeah,
Every day is a blessing.
to a decision that you make. It was one of his NCO DPs or PDs as they call it. So I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to be talking to veterans. I love veterans. I mean, like I said, I got a big old flagpole sitting out here in my yard. You know, POW and American flag. You know, I'm proud to be called a veteran. And
Amen.
you know, this old saying, soldier's request. You remember that?
What now?
Called the soldier's request. I still
Tell me
keep
about
it.
it.
I know you done heard of this one.
The only one I remember is the first line, and that is "Train me, Sergeant."
There you go. She's right.
Oh, yeah.
I got this from Sergeant Major Frank. Say you could Google this. Sergeant Major Frank M. McMahon. He the one came up with this. Like he said, it says, "Treat me with respect, Sergeant, for no heart in all the world is more loyal than the heart of an American soldier." This means more to me than the creed and all of that, because it has you as a soldier. And
Amen.
there ain't no oath to this enlistment. So that's why I keep this. And I got this years ago, go all the way up to Sergeant Major.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for sharing. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to post it on the Marshall in the Middle page and stuff. Hey, Don, we got to do your Marshall in the Middle Heroes I Know interview soon, so we'll set that up. I look forward to that. And, you know, Kirk and Joe have already done theirs and got theirs published. So
I'm going to go watch yours, Kirk.
Only if you agree to drink with me.
Oh yeah. We'll have a drink and we'll talk all about it. It'll be great. Yeah. So hey, everybody, thanks so much for coming to the Marshall in the Middle Heroes I Know hangout. And Joe, I'm gonna give you the last word there.
Hey, once again, thank everybody for their service and continue. I told the soldier today, young soldier, E7. I said, hey, continue to, you know, just because you got that big Sergeant First Class rank, you know, pretty much you got to prove yourself. It's not what you did yesterday with that rank. It ain't what you did when you was in the Army. It's what you doing right now when nobody's looking. It's like that safety brief that you've got a million times. And that's what, with a lot more else, okay? You know, because I'm a religious guy, but it's, you have to, you know, continue to lead, to train, and to inspire, you know, as a leader. Just because you might be out right now, but there's always somebody that wants your knowledge and that you can share. So
Amen.
Never stop just because you're out. Don't forget what you stand for as a person, you know, and continue to drive on. Continue to drive on.
I love you guys. We're building friends, aren't we? Building friends. Love y'all. We'll see you next week, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Love
everybody.
you guys.
Blessed.
See you
Love
later.
you.